All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to week 3. We're over halfway there. All right, a couple things tonight we'll discuss as we're going through these on the announcements. The first thing with the announcements is please make sure there's a new reading assignment up for week 2. Read through it, and then if you need to, you could retake the quiz. Now, I am giving everybody that option to retake the quiz with the new reading assignment since last week's was not up there. If you guys ever find a lynda.com missing, the instructor needs to know immediately that week, because lynda.com will take some down and they don't let us know when or what. All right, let's see. Software for the class: Animate CC 2018, Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign. If you don't have Adobe Creative Cloud CC 2018, please read the announcement. Important applications required for this course. Please review my feedback in the rubric for each grade. As you notice, I do have the week 2 grades up. It's information to help you out. By re-accomplishing it, it gives you more practice, and by resubmitting it, your grade goes up. Read the information in the remarks section as well. Even if you have 100%, still read the remarks, because I made some remarks on what I'm going to take some points off of this week if that's not corrected. Make sure that your posts are less than 20% copied. Make sure that you have at least 2 references. And, oh, guess what? That one snuck in there. They no longer have to be in APA format. All right, before we go on, Jesse, do you have any questions?
Our discussion doesn't have to be in APA format?
The references, no.
Huh.
No longer. The last mod that changed.
What
Last
brought
mod
that
or
on?
the mod before. Huh?
This is the first I've heard about it, actually. What brought that on?
The school wants to focus more on teaching you the programs and getting away from forcing APA down everybody's throat.
Oh, so is this just for the design classes then?
You know what? I can't answer that question. As far as I know, it's in the design. I think it's across the board, but since you're in the web programming, make sure with your web program instructors that that's the case.
I'm not in the web program.
Oh, so in the graphic arts, yeah.
Yeah.
It's that way across the board on all the graphic arts classes. We're not taking 8 points off for APA references anymore.
Okay.
Now, the APA format, in other words, we want proper paragraphs, though.
Right.
Yeah, so,
Just
but
not
the
for the
references, you could just throw the link up there and a name, or even, as long as there's 2 of them for this class, that's all that matters.
Okay.
All right, hi, Brian. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, cool. All right, now that we have the house cleaning out of the way, we are going to now go to what we're doing this week. All right, so week 3, we're going to apply the tools for creating interactive animation with audio assets. In other words, we're adding sound effects. Define interactive content and its role in graphic design. Implement the plan using original concepts that utilize functionality and interactivity. Basically, what number 3 says, you're creating a working animation. This week, our animations are final. And then, based on the feedback, that you'll fix that and learn a couple things for next week. All right, so the discussion for this week. We've seen so far this mod is 2D animation is very popular in advertising. And our role in it is a graphic designer is becoming more and more of a requirement on how to know how to do this. It's not just for cartoons and games anymore. With interactivity everywhere, and everything's screaming, look at me first, how do we stand out from all the noise? So for this, with your knowledge of UX and UI, what's UX?
User experience.
Okay, and that means what?
That means basically that the user was satisfied with what was presented to them.
Okay, that's part of it.
They needed.
The basic thing for UX is how the user walked away feeling. So it could be good or bad, but we want a good one, right?
Yes.
Actually, that's not correct all the time. And I will discuss it rather than show it here in a few minutes on that one. Now the UI, what's UI, Jesse?
User interface.
And that means what?
It's all the text and buttons and graphical stuff that is on the thing.
So basically any way that the user interacts
Yes.
with the program or the animation or whatever. The screen is even part of that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so why is the screen such an important thing other than, well, that's how you look at it? Why knowing about the screens? Do you know, Brian?
Not sure.
All right. Well, let me give a good example here. All right. All these are animated billboards. All right. So basically, you need to know the size to make that work, correct? What else do you need to know other than size? Because it's animated, it's going to be moving. What do we need to know? So that we can make sure we get a good product.
Probably like how far it is away from the people.
Okay, location.
Away from the road.
Location from the road.
Location,
Okay.
yeah.
Size.
I thought size was the first thing.
Did we say size?
I thought you said size. I could be wrong.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Let's see. Size, distance. What else? Colors are very important. Very important. And, you know, I'll explain that one by a demonstration here later. By using my project, the one for the sign at my kids' school that I was building this mod. Because we did get it to work. But there was a few changes that had to be made. And I'll go over some of those. All right, so size, location, pixels per inch, maybe? Yes, no?
Yes, definitely.
Because these things are getting so clear, it's almost like a TV screen that you're looking at, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so just something to think about. Now, all right, so we're going to go back here now. For this week's discussion, find 2 animated examples of where 2D animation was used to sell a product or service. No cartoon shorts that aren't selling a product or service. Here's one to get you started, the Bank of Queensland. All right, put links to your examples. Now, the links for this, if you go back and look how I did it here, I put the link here as the text, and then put the link inside the text. Title. So it brought this up. and then I answered the questions. All right. So as long as you're answering the questions in a paragraph format, that's fine. But those links are not the links that we put down here. Actually, for this one, yes, they were. All right. Does anybody have any questions on that? So here's the 4 questions you need to answer. Move Zoom, sorry. Has a unique concept. If yes, what was it? What made it unique? If no, what could have been done to make it unique? If memorable for the product or service it is selling, maybe it was very entertaining, but you can't remember what it was selling. If it was entertaining, why wouldn't you remember what it was selling? So there's a chance it can be entertaining, but it still doesn't reach the message. Let me go back here really quick. And I'm going to play this one. Watch it.
One pink robe all free in each specially marked box of post Pink Panther flakes.
All right. Now, was that an entertaining cartoon?
Yes, I would say yes.
But do you think you can remember what exactly they wanted you to do?
Could you?
Well, what do you think they wanted you to do?
Buy the cereal.
Okay. Now, somebody pointed out with that discussion, and you know, it's the first time I'd heard it, but it's a very good point. They were singing along with the music because they used to watch the old Pink Panther cartoons back in the 80s. If you look at the discussions, you'll see that discussion's there, and it's a really good point. Because of that, they were focused on the song, and they were focused on the little story between the large Pink Panther and the little Pink Panther. They missed totally the first time that it was a cereal ad.
But they kind of ended with that, right?
Oh, but if you're so caught up with the song, are you going to notice that if you're singing it in your head and not looking at the screen?
Maybe not consciously.
Yes, see.
But
So,
a lot of advertisers these days rely on the subconscious more than the conscious.
Right.
They know that we're so tuned out to advertisements that they're just hoping that something will break through the subconscious.
Right. And that one, there wasn't really much subconscious to it. It was very, very blatant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, look at the time for that ad.
1970 something?
1971. Yes. So back then, you had the kids totally focusing on Saturday morning cartoons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Today, we don't have Saturday morning cartoons.
We do have a Cartoon Network.
But it's totally different, isn't it?
Yeah, there are certain times that it's the same.
Correct, but not everybody has that.
It is 24/7. They do have some adult stuff also, but you know,
Correct.
like after school stuff, Saturday morning stuff, that's all still the same, really.
But not everybody has that channel, right?
That's very true.
But The advertising approach is even different. If you watch those ads, you'll start to see that they're a little bit different. Those subtle things you were talking about that hit the subliminal message, they're there more than they were back then. There was no subliminal message there at all on this ad, was there?
It's all liminal.
Yep. Now, let me show you a subliminal ad. Whoops. Here we go.
Oh. Bohemian Rhapsody trailer's out.
Yep. Joe Camel cigarette commercial TV ad. Some of these are not official Joe Camel ads, so that's what I have to watch out for in class.
There's one down there.
Let's start this
We
one.
at RJ Reynolds understand that children can be negatively influenced by cigarette advertising, which is why our company has agreed to no longer use the Joe Camel image in our tobacco campaigns. But does that mean children have to stop loving Joe Camel? Not at all. Kids, Joe Camel is off cigarettes and is back with his very own cartoon show. So please enjoy Joe Camel's new tobacco-free cartoon.
That's got to be a joke.
That one is.
Okay.
But take a look at it. Okay, Camel cigarettes. Okay, did you notice that they never did show really Joe Camel in the cartoon? That was one thing. They used Joe Camel more on the posters.
That was before Joe Camel, wasn't it? 1971. I thought Joe Camel came out in like the late 70s, early 80s.
He did, but they never did use him basically in the cartoon type ads.
Hmm.
There's a couple out there. They're hard to find. And
Oh,
I will
no
go
way.
through these tonight and find a couple of them.
The Flintstones were in a cigarette commercial?
Oh, yes. In fact, that was the next thing I was going to show you.
They sure work hard, don't they, Barney? Yeah, I hate to see them work so hard. Yeah, me too. Let's go around back where we can't see them. We ought to do something, Fred. Okay? How's about taking a nap? I got a better idea. Let's take a Winston break. That's it! Winston is the one filter cigarette that delivers flavor 20 times a pack. Winston's got that filter blend. Yeah, Fred. Filter blend makes the big taste difference, and only Winston has it up front where it counts. Here, ahead of the pure white filter. Winston packs rich tobaccos specially selected and specially processed for good flavor and filter smoke. Yeah, Barney, Winston tastes good like cigarette juice. The Flintstones has been brought to you by Winston, America's best-selling, best-tasting filter cigarette. Winston tastes good like a cigarette should.
See, so tell me who that was basically targeted to.
Anybody that watches the Flintstones?
Exactly, and it was a Saturday morning thing. So more kids than anything. And that's something to remember about, is the way that we advertised then to the way we advertise now. That has changed. There's so many things we can't do or we can do that we couldn't do back then. So when you're making your ads, these are things to think about, all right? So let's go ahead. So now you see the difference, though. That one was very blatant, but there was a lot of subtleness because it was targeting kids using the Flintstones, because Flintstones was sponsored by Winston, right? All right, so does it effectively sell the product or service? Make you want to buy it, in theory. So that would have made people want to buy it, right? Because it was very popular. The Flintstones were popular. Hey, all the popular kids are doing it, right?
Yeah.
And let's face it, as designers, what is our job?
To sell a product.
To sell the product. All right. Now, did it have additional interactivity in there? It did, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I mean,
Because the girls were doing all the yard work, so they're like, hey, we're going to go have a cigarette so we don't watch this anymore.
yeah.
And the girls came and gave them the stuff. And then they got a cigarette afterwards. So that added some effectiveness to cigarettes are for what?
When you're done and trying to relax.
Exactly. So these are things to think about when you're doing your ads here. All right, the assignment for week 3. You're going to be adding sound effects. Okay, for this assignment, you will animate your character following your storyboard from week 1, add sound effects, music, and or voiceover recordings of your character per your storyboard as well. So sound effects are required. Music is optional and voiceover is optional. Okay, so you can create your sound effects, which are required in GarageBand, or you can get them free because the YouTube audio library has sound effects.
Cool.
Now, these are to be used within YouTube videos. That's something to remember. And some of them, and watch the time length of them. Make sure you fit within your video.
Well,
That's a 7-minute, 21-second one.
You can cut them down, can't you?
You can, if you know how to use the programs and play with the programs. So you're authorized that. But, like I said, these are all free ones. Now, if you're going to add music, here's free music as well.
Cool.
There are some. Let's go to some that.
Rock.
Huh?
I'm just laughing at some of these categories. That one down there said rock, sad.
Okay, now when you're looking for a song, make sure don't type it up here in the search. Type it here. Look, these are all sad. Three minutes and 18 seconds. I'm looking for one because notice these say you're free to use these songs in any of your videos. Now that's saying if you're posting it on YouTube, by the way. So make sure you know that. All right. I'm looking for something specifically here. Looks like they've gotten rid of a lot of those, huh?
Are you looking for something that you aren't free to use in any of your videos?
No, not here because these are all free to use, but
Okay.
there is an actual, here we go, attribution required. See where it says this? You're free to use it in any of your videos, but you must include the following in your video description. So that has to be in the description of the video.
Right.
Okay, so that's what I was looking for.
I've actually used this guy's music before.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was in the end of that other video that I showed you last week.
Oh, nice. It was. All right, so you guys can use those, and the sound effects, as you saw, were right there. Let's go back. Sound effects. Now, I'm going to download one for, let's see. Too long. Oh, let's go look over here. Notice this doesn't have the adjusting for the length. Where in the music, you could say this duration. Sound effects doesn't have that, so you'll have to go through all of them. Let's see. Carp. Okay, now this one's 13 seconds long, so I'm going to use it, all right? I'm going to download it. All right, so it's downloaded. So we'll use that. All right, let's go back. You can create your own sound effects using GarageBand or get free pre-recorded ones, so I just showed you where. And if you want to add music, which is optional, check your YouTube library. All right, for free music. Now I'm going to go over that also. So let's go back. Now I need something under 30 seconds. All right. Well, the one that I have is 10 seconds long. Ooh. Let's do. All right, there we go. So. Perfect. That's going to go great with the one I'm using, so we're going to download it. All right, so I'm going to use a song and a sound effect. Remember, the sound effect's required, the song's not. All right, so if you're creating a voiceover option for your character, you can use Adobe Audition as well from your CC account. All you do is go up here, the apps, and it is down here. Let me go by it. Oh, it's right there. Audition, okay? So you guys are able to use that as well. You'll find great tutorials from lynda.com. You can use any of Lynda portals in this course or main Lynda portal in your graphic art community. Okay, so we'll go over these directions as we make the final project. All right, and then there's a quiz. We'll be going over the info for that quiz as well. And let's just make sure, so modules. And I'm going to go to the course media. So week 3 is lynda.com, up and running with Flash CC. Notice week 2, learning Adobe Animate CC. So you're going to be using that one, all right? Using Adobe Animate CC because this is the same one that was there last week. So just make sure you use this one. Learning Adobe Animate CC. So I'm going to grab that. And I'm going to show you how to do this. Modules. lynda.com student access. Load it. And you put it right here. And voila, it's right there. And you've also got others here to look at and play with. Are there any questions on that?
Nope.
All right, so that answers that. So now let's get into the fun part of the creating for the week, like I said. So we're going to go ahead and close this. Get my animate. All right, here's what it ended up looking like. Like I said, remember, there were changes from when I first did this.
Oh, wow.
And that's what was on their board this morning for kids coming to school. So tonight, we're going to show you how to work with a template once you've created one as well to make the changes you need. But yes, that was on the board today at the school. That was great to see. All right, now what I want to do is we're going to go back and I'm going to add the sounds. All right, so the first one is going to be sound effect. All right, now the sound effect. Well, I don't have them here, so first things first, let's go ahead and import to the library. Go to my downloads, and I'm going to get them both. Now, this will increase the size of your file. If it is too large, for the FLA, you'll zip it. And if it's still too large, you can email me the assignment, the .FLA. All right, so first things first. Well, this screech is going to be, it's the 10 seconds, right? So if I put it on there, we just drop it onto here. Notice it didn't go. You actually have to, we're going to do this, and just drag it over and drop. Notice it's now there. Command Enter. So you see, that worked perfect for it. But now, if I want to shorten that, let's go here. We're going to grab it here. Grab that one, and I'm going to move to here. Now watch the difference. See how it left that time frame afterwards that went to a just blue screen? So that's stuff you have to watch with the timelines. All right, now what we're going to do is that was the, actually instead of sound effect, that was the song. Now I'm going to do the sound effect. Okay, which is this one. Now that one, I'm going to just take drop, and then instead of it being the whole width, notice, see, if I adjust this back to here, whoops, come on. Really? And we'll just remove the frame. Right there. All right, now, if I make that the same width, now watch. See, it's still playing the other one as it restarts. So that's why you have to make sure that it's the same width as your time frames. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the good thing is, I've just showed you how to do the assignment. And what you're going to do is File, Save As. Let's go get the correct name. Oops, I closed it. Okay, so the assignment. You're going to come down here. Using the file you created week 2, do a save as and name it this. Okay, so now new folder, week 3, V. All right, so we've now saved it as we need to save it, right? So next, what I need to do, okay, save it to a new folder directory, which I just did. Now, my other Siri decided to talk, sorry. Animate and add audio as described above. Okay, so basically we have our new folder, which was week 3, right? Now this says to save it as this. And the reason they did that is because this is going to probably be large enough you need to zip it. So what we're going to do is we will go in. Rename week 3. All right, so now I have that. Go back and look. Animate and add the audio, I did. Zip the DES360 final animation folder. So now all we have to do is we're going to right click, compress, or zip if you're on the PC. And there is the file you're submitting. So basically from 8 o'clock to 8:15, we were discussing the submission of the program, the assignment. All right, now comes the fun part. Now I need a part 2 for mine because they wanted a drop off and they wanted a pick up. Well, you just saw the drop off, right? Now, why would I not want to add sound?
People are not going to do that from the car.
Huh? Actually, we have a billboard in town that has bubbling water for a car wash, and you can hear that thing 2 to 3 blocks away.
That's crazy.
They now have sound. So guess what? Screeching tires on a road that's busy might not be a good thing. Everybody's going to be looking around for those screeching tires and probably rubbernecking and probably cause an accident. So these are things you have to think about. Would that be a good user experience?
Probably not.
Not.
See, some of this gets comical, but these are things people don't think about when they do some of this, believe it or not. They're like, ooh, I could do this. No, 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 no. But the bubbling water, that's kind of cool. Because people start looking around for bubbling water, and they see that, and they see the bubbles popping on the car wash. But they're not looking for a car wreck or looking for a car that's about to hit them. Biggest things to think about, right? All right, so those are gone now. I don't need them. All right, so now that I don't need those, now what I'm going to do is we're going to take this and convert it to a pickup. So now they're going to pick them up. So now what I want to do is we're going to go File, Save As. I need to make this a total new file. And so you've already seen the assignment, all right? So now I'm going to go with, now I have a template, which is this, to build the next one from, because it's got to be the same width, same length, and the same speed. So the template's right there, right? So let's use it. Now, the other thing, there's a couple things I changed. But first, let's go ahead and we're going to call this one let's go back to desktop. Here we go. And notice these are all the ones I used for that. So the slow down, drop off, yeah. Well, now I want to make this a slow down pickup. So this is slow down, drop off. Now we're going to do it. We'll just tag it. Slow down. Pickup. Could not open the CNI possibly due to damaged file. Okay, not enough memory. Okay, quit. So what we're going to do is we're going to close that. But notice, it's all there. And we're going to fit into window. Okay, so what can you tell me did I change from last week? You guys know?
You added stars.
What else?
You made the background darker.
Background darker. It was too light, so the text wasn't showing up. It was showing up as the outline, which on those signs, they recommend outlining everything because it makes it stand out more. Again, we just broke one of the rules of design by doing this, but for this project, that works great, right? Now, the other thing, remember the size? Look what I had to go to make it work. 1400 by 400.
Yeah. Wow.
Because they kept having to stretch it, and it was really ruining it. So what I did is I went out to the sign, and the name of the sign company, pulled that up and asked for templates. They had a template of a graphic to use.
That's cool.
14 by 400, was the image that they used. So now this didn't, it only had to be stretched a little. But when you get close, it's a little blurry, but these signs aren't meant to be read right up on them. You want to be able to read them from a distance, and it was clear as day. Notice I changed to, we were talking about the caution colors, right? Orange and yellow. But because they want the slow down message to pick up, to be there, the slow down was larger, and this fit onto the whole screen. All right, so now I want to slow down, pick up. Well, I'm not going to use a car for this one, okay? I want to make a UFO that's picking up their kid. Like I said, I'm having a lot of fun with this project, and they like the idea. I pitched it to them yesterday. They're like, ooh, I like it. So guess what we're making tonight from this template? A UFO pickup in progress. So I'm going to have the UFO at the very beginning of the screen. On the screen, it's going to be right here. There's going to be a little stick figure here. A ray of light comes down, picks him up. He goes up as the ray of light goes up into it. And as this hits up here, right about here, the slow down, pick up in progress starts to scroll up. And it'll stop there. As the guy hits, then the ship takes off. So it'll take off before the slow down hits up there. Does everybody understand how that's going to work?
Yes.
Jesse?
I think so. Sorry, I was muted.
That's fine. All right, so now, first thing, what do I have to do? Well, I need to draw the spaceship.
Yeah.
First things first, spaceship. All right, now the spaceship, notice, what was that size?
The size of the
1,400 wide by 400 tall. So that's what I'm going to start with the creating, okay? So create new. Create new, there we go. And pixels, picas, or what? Or points?
pixels.
Okay. What's the difference between a pica and a point and a pixel? A pica and a pixel?
I have no idea.
Neither do I.
Something you should probably know as a designer. And guess what? I didn't make what I wanted. So we'll close that down. 1 pixel is how many picas? There's 12 points to a pica, 6 picas to an inch, 72 points to an inch. So they build on each other.
Oh, points and pixels are the same. Why?
Huh? They're not really.
Okay, that thing says it is.
It says it is, but now.
Well, we know there's 72 inches, 72 pixels to an inch, right?
Uh-huh.
So does that mean there are not 72 points in an inch?
One pixel equals 0.75 points.
Ah,
It is close, but not close enough. Why is this so important?
because we're going to be working with these things.
Yes, exactly. So now you understand the difference, though.
Yes.
All right, so now I want to start, right? So we convert it over to pixels. Now the width is 1400. The height, 400. And we'll create it. All right, so there we have it. And we're going to do a Command 0 so it's all centered. So it shows the whole thing. All right, now, so spaceships. That's always fun to do. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go to here. Oh, come on, let me over there. To here. Now notice, okay, that doesn't quite give it to the middle, does it? So what's the easiest way to do this?
Ellipse tool.
The ellipse tool? Okay. Well, here's even an easier way. Well, yeah, the ellipse tool. Okay. So I go here. Now, how do I make that a half?
A half.
Mm-hmm. So that it's, I don't need the top, right? So that'll go up. And that's all that's going to be visible, right?
Oh, okay.
So how do I take care of the top, though, to make that work?
Scissors tool. Yeah, I'm just.
Let's go over here to delete a point, and boom. It's not totally gone, but it's more so. All right, so there's what we start with. Now, what color should we make our spaceship?
Some kind of gray.
A gray, okay. But remember, we're using the same background color.
So a light gray then?
Light gray, okay.
For the contrast.
Mm-hmm. And Brian, if you have any input, please speak up, okay?
Okay.
Because this is going to be a fun one. All right, so now we want the color to be a light gray. So, you know, I'm going to cheat here. What if I put 25, 25, 25, 25? Is that too dark of a gray?
Probably go with 0 on the black.
Okay. So what are we playing here with once we change the black to 0?
What do
Went
you
from
mean? What are we
25
playing
to
with?
0. What's it called? Hue,
Saturate.
shade,
No.
saturation, but it's a hue or a shade.
It's a shade.
Okay, so there. So we're going to do this, and there we go. All right, so now we have the top part. Now we need the container that goes on the bottom. What is an easy way to do that one?
Pen tool from.
Well, we could do the pen tool, or let's go here, and we're going to use the rectangle tool now. All right. Now, what we do is here, we want to make this all line up, file, let's see, excuse me, view, rulers, show rulers. And so we go halfway across. All right, now,
Why
how
wouldn't
do
you just use your alignment tools there?
I could do that too.
Okay.
But like I said, do I always do things the easy way?
I get so much mileage out of my alignment tools. It's not even funny.
You know, I use them sometimes. I've always liked to use it this way because it's a comfort thing for me, I guess.
Okay.
I'm designing, to be honest with you. But now I need to add some anchor points. All right. Now, first, well, this is at, right there. So let's go to 500. So that's, how much did I just take from here to there?
Looks like 50 pixels.
50 would be right there, wouldn't it? 1, 2, no. The 50 is actually right in the middle. So about
Yeah, I thought that's where you were.
1, well, okay, so let's take that back. Let's go back up here. Let's do this. Okay, so we go right here.
Oh. So,
Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
okay, so 40 then. So each one of those little dashes is 20.
Mm-hmm. I know. This is, then there's a reason I'm bringing the math into this for everybody. Because how many times when you were growing up did you tell your teacher, I'm never going to use math?
Never.
So that'll go back to about there. Okay, this one's a little bit wider, so we can take that. Now notice, see, it didn't quite come out because this isn't quite on the 700 point, because this whole thing is off a little, right? So now we just take that back to that same spot here. See how I did that? If I would have went to the 900, it's totally off.
Mhm.
And you know, that may still be a little off because that's a guesstimate. You guys will be a little more accurate since you'll have the time. So I'm going to add a point and add a point. Come up here, delete a point. Oh, what's wrong? Why? What happened to that point? Can anybody tell me?
Not off the top of my head.
No.
That point went on this line. This is the one issue.
Oh, so lock your guides.
Uh-huh.
No, you were there, guides.
Yep.
And then go over to lock.
My finger slipped off of it.
There we go.
All right, now watch the difference. Notice how that put it actually on there and highlighted the points?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Little details make a lot of difference. All right, so now I'm going to take that, move it up. Whoops. All right, so there's that. So let's take care of those. We're going to just come up here. Rulers, we no longer need the rulers, right? And then we're going to take the view, the guides, and we're going to hide the guides. I no longer need them. All right, now, so there's the start of our ship, right? Well, you know, actually, we're not going to state that yet. We're going to wait because this gray, I'll tell you, is not going to work. But we won't get into why yet. All right, now what I want to do is I'm going to draw some circles. Okay, so I'm going to put one in the middle. And there. And one there. All right, now, see they're a little bit off, right?
Yes.
A little bit.
Okay. So all we have to do now is put that one right there. That one right there. All right, so that's pretty close. Like this one, they're a little off on the distance, but we're going to be fine with that for right now for the purpose here, okay? So now I'm going to select the color, and we're going to change it. And this one is going to be... All right, so there's my colors, our lights. Now we need one more little section like this. Command CV. All right. So we're going to shrink that down, because that's where the light comes out and they bring the guy up, right? So there's our UFO. What do you think?
Looks okay.
Anything you'd change on it?
Personally, I use the shape builder and converge all the gray sections.
Okay, I want them separate because remember, we're taking this over and we're going to be using it in Animate.
Okay.
And with Animate, there may be a chance that I could change some things that if I used the shape builder and converged them, wouldn't be able to work.
Oh, okay.
So but that's actually, you're thinking about how to use the programs together. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, like I said, that was a personal thought, but for now, I'm going to leave them separate, and you'll see why. You'll see why when we get there. But your idea is a good one. It would actually work. Does it change the size of the file?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Well, that's something I'd like you to research tonight for tomorrow. Okay. And the reason is, remember, we have to make the file size the smallest possible, right?
Right.
Okay. But yet still good. All right. Now, what I want to do is, so File, Save As. Now, I'm going to create a new folder here and call it Pickup. And this is UFO. All right, so there's my UFO. Now we're going to go over to here. Now, I'm leaving everything here for a reason right now, okay? We're not going to touch it yet. But what I am going to do is let's go back to Illustrator, and we're going to open go up one, and the text, which is here, we're going to open that. Now, something that I can't do any longer. I created outlines, so I can't change the text, right? So, what you can do, though, now is I'm going to close this. We're going to lock it. And why can't I add a layer? What is wrong here? Why can't I add a layer? Do you know?
Oh, you're inside a layer already.
Okay, so if I click here, it still doesn't allow me to add one.
Okay, but you're in isolation mode.
Oh, how do you change that? Right here, you're right. You were on the right path. Okay, so now we're back. So all I have to do, we're going to lock that one. Now I can add it. So you were right. Now, what I need to do next is we're going to text. And notice, now I can use some serif text for this, but I'm not. Because I think this looks pretty cool. You saw how that looked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now You'll notice here they're the same size, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and all caps. With these types of signs, all caps tend to work best. All right, so now we click and we're going to center. Put this right there. There. Hold my shift. All right, so we now center it. And see, this is why you plan ahead. What didn't I do here that would have made this so much easier? I would have made 2 layers, converted one,
Mm.
and then still had the other working layer. All right, so what we're going to do from this here, the other issue is, what didn't I do?
Your text isn't the same.
My text is not the same, though it looks the same, doesn't it? That's Myriad Pro. I am actually using, does anybody know?
I don't.
No.
Arial.
It's Arial Black.
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
Yep, from last week, Arial Black. All right, now look how large that made that. So we're going to shrink it down. Still a little off. Okay, just a tiny bit. All right, so that's about as close as we're going to get them. But that's fine because we don't need this layer for this. Yes. File, save as. All right, see how that says it's text? Well, we're going to rename this. We're going to keep it text. Save it, replace. Because now I'm going to build it like I should have to begin with. All right, now, what I'm going to do is, how do you duplicate a layer here? Do you remember?
Hold down the option button
Okay,
and click and drag.
perfect. So now I have 2. And in fact, we're going to put that one on top. This one's locked and invisible. So this one is going to be slow down. All right, now I'm going to right click, create outlines, save. So now I'm going to go down here and we're going to file, import to library. All right, so let's go back here to, whoops, pick up. Actually, I want the text. Now, watch what this does. There's all that. Notice how these are turned off? Remember how I said last talking about the import unused symbols? If I click there, these will come in as well. But I don't need them, do I? So we're going to just import as is. Artboard 1. Okay, it already exists in the document. Don't replace it or do replace it. Well, we've renamed this so it's separate. So now we want to replace it. Whoops, I didn't replace it.
Yeah, you did don't.
Yep, I did. So file, import to library, text, There we go. So import, replace. There we go. And look what it just did. Half my work's already done because this now, let's do the slow down. That's up there. All right. Now the drop off, we're going to unlock because that is now all that. It replaced it. See how easy that was to replace? Now I want to highlight that. Come on. Let's go inside of it. There we go. Highlight those. They're gone. The pickup. We're going to highlight all those. And, well, this was the orange. That was a yellow, right?
Right.
So we're going to change. Well, let's come over to properties and go to yellow. Outline. Notice I need to add the outline. So now I can go back and make it black. So there's an outline now. One. Click. Whoops. Did I just close it? There we go. Now notice that that's off. So all we have to do is there. So now I have my pickup in progress. But now let's go back in. Got them all highlighted. This I had as a 2. All right, there we go. So my text is now completed, and I fixed it inside of the symbol already. Wasn't that a lot easier than sitting there and rebuilding everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so next, the next thing we've got to do. Well, we're going to go back to the beginning because I start with the UFO right here. I no longer need the sun. So the sun's gone. So we throw it away. Okay. Now the car. Well, that is now the UFO. Okay. So what I'm going to do with the UFO is we are going to right click. Well, first, let's go ahead and I'm going to create a new layer. And I'm turning all the other layers off so you can't see them and locked. Now, the reason I'm doing this, just to make this all a lot easier. So we're going to go File, Import to Library. All right, so we want the pickup, we want the UFO. And import. All right, so now the UFO is in my library. So to replace the car, first thing is this a symbol? Is that a symbol?
Looks like one.
It is. Now I'm going to take this, drag it over, and start right there. Okay, so here's what I have. Okay. So next, let's go back to my timeline. I've got a person sitting here. So that's going to be, well, the car's gone. I no longer need it, right? But since that's a symbol, I can even go here and I can convert or swap symbols. All right, so now the car over here, I no longer need, right? It's gone. The slowdown I need, the stars we're going to use, symbol, symbol, text. We're going to use that. that we need, and that we need. So we've already gotten rid of what we don't need. So now we're going to draw a little character. Well, all right, so there's the layer. We're going to delete. We no longer need that layer. I just did this the hard way, didn't I? What's the easier way to do that? Well, since that one's empty, if I delete it, I'm deleting my timeline, right? I don't want to do that because I want to use the same timeline because the timing was perfect on that sign. Now do you see why I'm deleting that one instead? So it's not really the hard way. Now it's actually the easier, right? So now, because that's gone, all I have to do is drag the UFO over. Come on. Yes. Well, where'd it go? It didn't come over. So that's something you'll have to watch out. Do you want to replace the existing one? If I say okay, nothing's happening there. All right, but since I know this is my timeline, what I need to do is right-click, remove motion. Now I can bring this over. Oh. Ah. Let's redo that just to show you. Unlock. Okay. So yes, I'm replacing it. So now we go back, view it, and now I have that shooting across. So it's starting, right? All right, but that's not how I want to do that, remember?
You want to come from the bottom.
So I wanted to go from the bottom. So what I'm going to do, actually, that's the timeline I need, but I'm going to right-click, remove. Do I remove frames, or what do I do?
Remove the motion, right?
Exactly. Remove the motion. Now I can take that and put it right here. And also, well, we can go inside that symbol if we really wanted to. And I could start that. But is there a need to? Not really for this. All right, so now we're back here to scene one. So there's that. Well, I want it to shoot up. Okay, so right here, what we're going to do is, in the process, right there's where the text is. Well, let's make everything visible so you can see it. All right, so right here, the text is coming in. Well, and this is now pick up. Okay, so now we have slow down, pick up. All right, so right here is where the car was disappearing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to do is the words start right here to be pulled up once the ship starts to shoot up. So that's going to be right here. So we're going to put a motion tween right there because it's gone by at that point. But first, well, let's take this one, remove the motion, and remove the motion. All right, now those two I'm going to work together with. So I grab them both and we put them right here. Notice this bottom one's off a little, so we'll just fix that. All right, so there we have it. Now, first thing, what I need to do is, where's my character? I haven't made him yet, right? All right, so this is going to be the alien. All right, so to make the alien, that would be fun. Actually make an alien. So we go back to the properties, options, let's do a star. Okay, and let's give him 8 legs like an octopus. Right, so here's now what I've got started, right? All right. So to make this into an alien, is that looking like an alien, kind of? Actually, I got an idea. All right, so now I'm going to do this. And there. We're going to do that on this side. Pac-Man alien. And the little feet. All right. So now we're going to highlight that. Turn it so he's standing still. There we go. Okay, now he needs eyes. So we're going to make eyes. Let's give him green eyes or blue eyes. Let's go with blue.
But your background is blue.
Ah, but it's light blue.
Okay.
Okay. But now we need to actually make the eye. Okay, so there's that. And that's going to be what color? White. Right. Okay, can you tell me what I'm doing wrong?
No. The object drawing mode is on.
Now, is that really wrong?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, yeah. Okay, so now that is going to be the pupil. Pupil. Turn it down. And that actually looks like an alien eye, doesn't it? Kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, here, let's add some fun shape to it to make it even a better alien eye. There, how's that? Now we have a nice,
Very alien.
very alien. All right.
Maybe turn it upside down.
Ooh. Okay. Perfect.
I have good ideas sometimes.
I know the feeling. So now Command C, V. Well, instead of V, what can I do? Right click, paste in place. Okay. And these, now we're going to take them over to here.
Oh, I thought he was just going to have one big eye.
Nope.
Are you even going to be able to see those?
Well, we'll see, won't we?
I guess we will.
This is where, remember, I have a concept. We talked about the concept, right?
Yes, we did.
So now we get to play with that concept and make it work. But I don't like, they're too far apart. We'll do that. And I'm leaving them together on purpose. All right, that works. That looks better, doesn't it?
Yes.
Right, so we raise that. Now we need a nose. So the nose. Subtract. There's that. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. All right. It's kind of an owl alien. All right, now we want this alien toned down to size. What we're going to do is right click, convert to symbol, alien. Right, so he is right there, still a little large. So we're going to zoom him in. Okay, so there's our alien. Right here is where we want the words to stop. So in this time frame, needs to zoom him up. So now we're going to do another layer. The light beam. Now, we could go back because we don't really have anything side to side now, right? So we can go back to this size to do this. Now the light beam. Okay, so the light beam, let's lock that. We start with our square, right? Subtract a point. Now we're going to rotate it. And bring that in. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna go from here. So now the light beam is going to be right there. And Okay. Now that's actually going to be in front of that one. There we go. But it's got to be kind of faded out, right?
Yes.
Now the fun part is this going to work as a faded out background on the sign? All right, so what I need to do is, because it's an object, right? I click on it, I don't get my colors. That's because it's a symbol. So we have to go inside the symbol. But it's not a symbol. So how do I change that opacity?
It's under properties, color effects alpha.
Nope.
It's not under properties.
We're under properties.
Oh, okay, what was I thinking then?
You're on the right track. What happens is, right click. First, we need to convert to symbol.
Oh,
Now, notice.
that's what I was looking for.
Okay, now, and I want the alien. We'll go down. Okay, there we go. So the alien's going to start there. Now, what if I put that behind? Like, that kind of looks cool. Now, to get everything to suck up at once. What's the easiest way to do that? Because they're two different symbols, what I can do is now we're going to create one more layer. Okay, and then on these two, Command C, delete, delete. Notice I can't just paste it. If I do, it didn't give me the options to paste in place or anything because there's two objects that I copied from different layers. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so now here's where we start. All right, so we come over and we get this. But because they're two symbols, what we want to do now is make this one symbol. So this is going to be beam up. All right, now, as this beams up, this is going to get narrower, and the character is going to stay though, right?
Right.
Huh. Now that I've converted them and made them one symbol, that's not going to happen. You realize that.
Yeah.
So you made them one symbol.
I should not have made them one symbol. What would have fixed this? What would have solved that issue?
Two different animations going.
Well, before you're on the right track, but what would have actually solved that issue is when I planned out the concept, right? When I planned the concept, I would have already seen that that would not have worked. I'd need two different ones. Because you notice he's the same size as that. So he's going to go right up into it. But the beam of light has to narrow to go up. All right, so the beam of light is going to start to narrow as he goes up. So right here, what I need to do is the light beam, right click, and we're going to convert to keyframe, right? That way, he's there and here. That light beam. But now that light beam, hold the option, gets narrower as it goes up, right? So really, this isn't going to do anything, is it? So that, now we're going to just go convert to blank keyframes after that point. And same there, right click, and we're going to remove that frame. But I need this at 1 second, so we need to insert a frame. So it's at 1 second, right? 1 second. In fact, I need to insert one more because that didn't put it at 1 second. So insert a frame. Now that puts that at 1 second. So we're going to right click, create a motion tween. Okay. Well, the light beam, we're going to lock this. The light beam isn't a symbol yet. I didn't create it as a symbol yet. I did. Why is it doing that? So we're going to delete it, bring over the symbol. Okay. Now, oh, I need to go into the light beam. Now that I'm into it, now I can do that. Click on it. Well, why isn't it letting me? I'm in it. Let's go back in. Well, remember, I got to do it on the symbol. So by going inside, I'm now on the shape, not the symbol. So stay on the scene. There we have it right here. So the alpha right there. Perfect. All right. So now right click, create a motion tween. See how that see how that did that? It's a symbol that I was trying to go inside and make on the shape. You have to do the adjustments of the alpha on the shape, on the symbol, not the shape.
Right.
Okay, so next. Well, to here, this is going to go up. Hold my option, up, and oops. Now I can do them to come together. All right, so watch.
Cool.
So, but next, okay, so the light's done. Lock. And in fact, after that point, the light's now gone. Okay, it's here, but after that point, it's gone. All right, so now, next is the owl character going up. So we're going to do the same thing. Right here, right click, insert blank keyframe. So right here, we have him, and we're going to right click. We can't convert a motion tween. Why? It's a very simple solution. What is it? I've got to unlock.
Oh.
And notice I did it on the UFO, not on the alien. So there's two issues there. All right. So now we come down here to the alien. We'll unlock the alien. Do the right click. Convert to blank keyframe. All right. So now there's the alien. Right click. Create a motion tween. Now the alien is going to zoom up. But notice he's a little large, right?
Yeah.
So before we do that, before we even convert it to a symbol, to a tween, we're going to remove the motion, and we're going to shrink him down a little. Make sure he fits dead center. All right, so there we have our alien. Now we will create a motion tween and shoot him up into there. Now let's watch this. Ooh, what happened? Why isn't our beam working? Should be according to this. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Did you notice that when I did my Control Z, I went back one too many? So now, okay, there's a tween there, but it's not doing anything, see? So now this, we need to do that same thing to again. Well, why didn't it do it? Ideas? Create a motion tween. This wasn't blue. Make sure it's blue so that your tween can actually work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
These are those little things I'm throwing in there just so that you can start to learn to troubleshoot. All right, so here we go. He goes a little faster than the beam of light. We don't want that, do we?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is right here, we'll go back. Okay, so we have the beam of light, and as, whoa, turn it back on. By the way, if you click this, you turn off all but outlines. So it's like a blueprint. But when you run it, it still runs like that. So there's one thing, some people have lost their things and don't know how to get them back. That's how you do it. And you can do that individually as well. Just click on the box. All right, now, so what we're going to do is we're going to go slowly and see what happens. So we've got the character going up faster because the character is actually going up further is what happened. So right here, that's the light beam. The alien, we want to come. So it goes at the same time. Now watch. See how that did that?
Yeah.
All right, now I've got these now in the right spots. So that's fine. They stay. So now I save this. Next, I want the text to go up at the same time. So let's go back. So the text is going to be getting pulled up as he starts. Or is it? The best place for the text right now is now I'm going to have the text shoot up with the ship. Okay? Because let's bring up the other one. And actually, we had the text start stopping right here. So the ship could pull the text up to that point. We're going to pull up File, Open, Recent. sparkle. All right, now see the text? It started pulling it right there. So we're going to do the same thing. So the text stops at that 3 point, at the 3 second point, so 60 frames. All right, so now go to the forward, so right here, okay? Now the UFO, I'm going to right click, convert to keyframe. Now the UFO is going to take off. So right click. Well, it's not going to do anything because we have it locked. All right, so now we go back. And now we can right click, create a motion tween. Right here, it goes up. So here's what we have so far. Okay. Now I need the text to go up with it. So notice the text is brought in this whole time. So I'm going to do that here as well. So starting here, the text is going to start getting pulled up. In fact, I want to start pulling the text up with the Al character. So the text is going to start where it's at. So this, right click, remove. We no longer need that one. Same here. Right click, remove. Right, so the text is going to come up for both of these at the same time. Let me do a command save first. All right, now we're going to start with the slow down text. All right. Now the slow down text is a symbol already. So right here, we're going to right click. Well, we're not going to do that yet. Here, we're going to right click and we're going to make this a tween. But why can't I? Because the layer I'm on is locked. So now, create a motion tween. Okay? So right here, we're going to move it up. Okay, can you tell me what I did wrong? Why didn't it take? That's not blue, is it? Remember, this has got to be blue. So right here, we're going to right click, convert to keyframe. Whoa. Whoops. I converted them all to keyframes. We don't want that. So right here, right click. Let's see, I want to do it just one before there. Right click, we're going to convert to keyframe. Well, there we go. Now this is now going to be the right click, create a motion tween. So right here, this is going up. Okay? Nothing's right there, so right here, we're going to clear the keyframe and watch. Now I just have to bring the other one up, right? All right, so now we go back. So we lock that, unlock the pickup, same thing, right? Control, convert to keyframe. Okay, so we go back, right click, create a motion tween. And then we're going to do the same thing. All right, here, right click. We do what? Clear the keyframe. Yep. And then now we just right click and, well, we don't even have to do it. So now we're going to save this, and here's what we have. What do you guys think?
Sounds good.
Okay, the one thing I don't like is, if you look, the slowdown and pickup, the slowdown is up too high. So we can move that down just a little. So let's go back. So at this point, we're going to unlock it. It's about right. There we go. Lock, lock, and here we go. So now you've seen how to alter a completed project. And then it's going to rerun. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on? Let's go take a look at the very end, because guess what? I did not make sure everything ends at the same spot. So we're going to go to here, right click, remove the frames. Now everything ends right here. All right, 9 seconds. Save. Let's take a look. Oh, whoops, wrong one. And it's got to be at 10 seconds. So guess what? So we close that one, and we want the pickup. I closed it. Whoa. And there was that error where it decided to shut down on me. Have you guys seen that yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so we want the, notice it's not here. You think I just lost it? No. So here's what we're going to do. We want everything at 10, right? So we just go to right here, and we're going to insert frame. And I just moved that out so that everything stayed where it was. So save, Command Enter. And there we go. Now watch how it ends. What do you think? What do you guys think?
I like it.
Now,
I like how it's picking up.
okay. Now, what we could do to make this even more fun, make these lights change colors so that this one will go green, blue, red, and then it'll go blue, red, green, so that they just alter colors. But guess what? It's time to end class here soon. So that's going to be something we will do tomorrow. But as you know, the sound, remember, I showed you how to do the sound from basically a half hour in to 45 minutes in, right? How to do the file and submit it. Do you guys have any questions on this?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Now, here's the thing, is the secretary at the school said she hasn't found out where the city's going to say you've got too much blinkage going on. I'm going to send her this one. And then I'll ask her if she wants those blinking, but probably not. Why would you probably not want those blinking? What would you guys think?
I don't think I'd mind.
You got to remember, the more blinkage, the driving, the more distraction, because you have to focus to see everything else.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's something you have to remember when you're doing this. Now, what I'm going to do is, for this one, the way that we actually save this one to work on the sign is we export it as an animated GIF. We have it's processing. All right, there it is. Now we're going to save it. And tomorrow night we'll change those lights just so we can play with the UX. All right, so you can see what you think. But now we're going to go File, Open File. And there we go. There's our sign. Perfect for it. You guys have any questions for tonight?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so you saw how you save a file with the same name, text, and then upload it. It can replace the other one, so you don't have to go through and make all those changes, right? The only thing you had to do was go inside and actually change the colors. That was it. All right, do you have any questions? Let's see, that was Jesse and Brian. Did we lose Brian?
Looks like he's still here.
Looks like he's here.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Couldn't
fine.
get you off.
That
Yeah,
happens
so-
occasionally with Zoom. So, do you have any questions, Brian?
No, I'm good, thanks.
And this shows you guys some other cool things to play with, right?
Yes, definitely.
And how to actually change things without too much extra work. All right, that being said, we're going to go ahead and end class for tonight. And you know what? Oh, good. I did record it. Whew. For a minute there, I thought I wasn't recording. Thank you guys for coming to class. Poke and prod people to come, because as you can see, you guys got to play and try things with the program tonight. And that's what we're going to try tomorrow night, as I'm going to play with the user experience for you, just so you could try to think what it's going to be like while you're driving by. Because the other thing I didn't mention on that road, the speed limit's 40 miles an hour. It's not a regular school zone.
Okay.
The city doesn't want to put a school zone there. So it's 40 miles an hour. Think about that on what you're going to see on the sign. All right, so have a nice evening. We'll talk more about this tomorrow night, and I will see you then. Thank you.
Good night.